Now, welcome to lecture number 16 of the course. In this lecture, I will continue with the basics of the stability, power system stability. So, in this chapter, in this lecture, I am showing a stator winding, balanced three-phase stator winding. Balanced three-phase stator winding means where each phase is separated from the another phase by 120 degree apart in space, and moreover each phase is a balanced current is flowing in all the three phases, and these currents are also 120 degree apart from each other. Okay, so when a stator is excited by a balanced voltage, therefore because of the balanced voltage a balanced current will flow in all the phases, and because of this balanced current in all the phases, field in the winding will is produced in all the windings, and this field in the windings will oscillate corresponding to the positive and the negative half cycles of the current, and this will give a resultant field of magnitude 1.5 FM, where FM is nothing but the MMF corresponding to maximum current in a phase. Okay. Now this resultant magnetic field, as you can see, this resultant magnetic field, it is because of the windings which also rotate at 50. Okay, which also rotate at a speed of 50 if excited by a 50 Hertz supply. If this is excited by a 50 Hertz supply, the field, resultant magnetic field, it will also rotate at the same speed as the depending upon the frequency with which you are exciting it. Okay. So in steady state, what happens? In steady state, what happens? The stator field and the rotor field. Rotor field here I am showing in this diagram. This is the stator, this is the rotor. I am taking a two-pole silent pole rotor with field winding. This is the stator winding. Okay, sorry, this winding is not connected here. It is here up to this point. Okay, while drawing this excitation, DC excitation, I made a mistake here. Okay, like this, it is at some distance from the rotor. This point is also at some distance from the rotor. Okay, so in steady state, I am saying that both the fields, that is stator field which is rotating at synchronous speed and the rotor field flux phi f, it also rotates at the synchronous speed, but there is some angular separation between the two fields. Okay, so for example, I am showing this as a synchronous generator which is connected to a bus bar with voltage Vt angle 0. Vt is nothing but magnitude of Vt is equal to 1 and angle is equal to 0, and delta is the angle between the field, rotor field, which I am showing in this direction, arrow direction, and the resultant magnetic field. So rotating MMF is called as the resultant flux or armature flux, and I am denoting it by phi r. As long as phi r and phi resultant, and phi f, they rotate at the same speed, we say the system is stable. Okay, let me show you here. Here I am saying that as long as phi f and phi resultant magnetic field and this resulting magnetic flux and field flux, as long as they both rotate at the same speed, we say delta is constant. As long as delta is constant, we say the system is in steady state and the system is stable. Here delta is called as a low torque angle. Okay, torque angle, which is nothing but the angle between the phi resultant and phi f. Here I have shown the direction of phi f in this diagram. It is in the arrow direction. Here I am taking it. Okay, suppose I am saying that phi f and phi resultant, they both are rotating at the same speed, which is nothing but 15 rotations per second. R per s means rotations per second. So after 1 second, what will be the position of the field flux phi f? It will be same as it is shown in this diagram. At time t is equal to 0 second, it is at this position. At time t is equal to 1 second, it will be again at this position. At time t is equal to n second, it will be at this position. Same is case with the resultant flux. So what is the relative speed of field flux corresponding to with respect to the resultant flux? Relative speed is 0. Okay, so relative speed is 0. As long as the relative speed between the two is 0, we say that torque angle delta is constant. Okay, so let us assume that a case where we say that the shaft output increases, or shaft output increases means mechanical torque increases. So if mechanical torque increases, mechanical torque is exerted on rotor here. Mechanical torque is exerted on rotor with the help of turbine. Okay, so if Tm increases, the rotor will rotate at higher speed, whereas the speed of the resultant flux, it will remain constant because it is connected to, stator is connected to the infinite bus bar, and the frequency and voltage at infinite bus bar is fixed, voltage 1 and frequency 50 hertz. So speed of this flux, resultant field flux, it will remain same, whereas speed of the speed of the resultant flux will remain same, whereas the speed of the field flux, it will increase. So I am showing here, I am saying that suppose that the mechanical shaft increases, which means that the mechanical torque increases, as a result of which the field flux phi f rotates at a higher speed because rotor speed will increase, whereas the resultant flux will still rotate at 50 hertz, which is fixed by the bus bar across which the machine is connected. Okay, so this is the case, initial case at time t is equal to 0. This angle is delta. This is the field flux. This is the resultant flux. So I am saying suddenly the rotor, turbine output increases or shaft output increases. So I am saying that rotor will run at a higher speed. Suppose I am saying that it is running at speed 52 rotations per second, whereas the resultant flux is still at 50 rotations per second. Means frequency of rotor is 52 hertz and frequency of the resultant flux is 50 hertz. Okay. So what is the speed of the field flux with respect to the resultant flux? It is nothing but this speed minus this speed, means it is 2 rotations per second. Here I am showing 2 rotations per second. Speed of field flux is 2 rotations per second with respect to the resultant flux, phi resultant. Okay. Again, I am saying this is at time t is equal to 0. So angle is equal to delta. Okay. So this means that this field flux, it is bypassing or it overtakes the resultant flux how many times? In 1 second. In 1 second, this flux will overtake this flux in 1 second. It will overtake it 2 times. 2 times means 1 rotation, second rotation. Okay. After 1 second, both are rotating, but after 1 second again phi resultant will come at this place and phi f will come at this place. So overall, how much? So can you tell me after in 1 second, I can say that phi f overtakes phi resultant 2 times. 2 times means 720 degree. Okay, 2 times means 720 degree. So what about 0.5 second? If I'm taking a time of 0.5 second, it is overtaking it 2 times in 1 second. So in half second, it will overtake it by 1 time. Okay, but 1 time means 360 degree. In 0.5 second, phi f overtakes phi f overtakes phi r 1 time. Okay, it overtakes 1 time overtake. Okay. It will be a 1 time overtake. 1 time overtake means 360 degree. Okay, means again this position. So I am saying instead of 0.5 second, I will take some point where it will lead it by some different angle. So I am taking time t is equal to 0.25 second. In 1 second, it was overtaking it twice, means 720 degree. In 0.5 second, it was overtaking it by 360 degree. Means 1 time, and in 0.25 second it will overtake it, means phi f will overtake phi resultant by how much angle? Can you calculate? Simply 180 degree. So 180 degree means initially phi f was here and phi resultant was here, and angle between them was some angle was there between them. Okay, now after 0.25 second, what will be the position of phi f with respect to phi resultant? This phi f will overtake phi resultant by 180 degree, and it will be in this direction, which I am showing it by phi f dash. So it will, from this angle to this angle, it will be a 180 degree from initial value of position of phi f to a new position of phi f at time t is equal to 0.25 second, the angle will be 180 degree. Okay. So let us take a case when the time is 0.125 second. When the time is 0.125 second, can you see for 0.125 second, phi f overtakes phi resultant by 90 degree. By 90 degree means this after 0.125 second, this will overtake this by 90 degree, means the position, new position of this phi f will be, I'm showing here, this phi f after 0.125, new position of phi f with respect to phi resultant will be this phi f dash, and the angle between phi f and phi f dash will be 90 degree. Phi f dash is the new position and phi f is the initial position of the field flux. So you can see that it is overtaking it with time, delta will increase. Okay. So here can I conclude that therefore you are seeing with time, when time is equal to 0.25 second, it was 90 degree. When 0.125 it was 90 degree. For point is equal to 2.25 second, time is equal to 0.25 second, phi f leads, phi f position of phi f with respect to new position of phi f with respect to phi resultant is 180 plus delta, and at 0.15 second it is 360 degree. For 1 second it is 720 degree, means delta is continuously increasing. If delta is increasing, we will say that the system is unstable. System is unstable and the system may lose synchronism. So even a frequency mismatch of 2 hertz, here I'm showing 2 hertz, frequency mismatch of 2 hertz can make the system stable if the mismatch means it remains there for some time. Okay, if this frequency mismatch, some corrective action is taken and we will again bring phi f to 50 revolution per second, then we will say okay, the system is again stable and we have achieved synchronism again. But if within that stipulated time, which is called as the critical clearing time, if you are not able to bring back phi f back to 50, then the system will become unstable, because you can see even 2 hertz of frequency mismatch, the delta is continuously increasing, and so our system will become unstable. Okay, so it is written here, therefore a frequency mismatch of even 2 hertz for some time can make the power system unstable and the system may lose synchronism. Okay, and the system may lose synchronism. So next I'm showing in this figure here, phi f is the resultant field flux, phi r is the resultant flux, and they both are means moving in the clockwise direction. Okay, as long as speed of both the fields fluxes are same, delta is constant. But also see, these are the fields, 2 fields, and every field has the tendency, 2 fields have the tendency to align itself. This field will try to align to this field, and this field will try to align itself to this field, means they both will try to come closer to each other. This is the property of the field, that they try to align themselves. Okay, so I can say that both the fields have the tendency to align each other, so which gives rise to resultant torque, which is proportional to, okay, wait a second, I skipped the 3rd page first. After the first page where I showed you these diagrams. Okay, then comes this diagram. Okay,